What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Uber Success. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk all about the Uber Xchange leasing program. If you don't have a car, but you want to drive for Uber and you're thinking about it and you're looking for a means to do that, this is a good program to do. However, I'm going to give you my feedback on what it really means when you actually sign up for this program. If you're really serious about looking into this program, I do recommend go on their site, read the fine print, find out exactly how the program works. But also watch this video because I'm gonna talk about some things that they don't even bring up that you might wanna know if you're thinking about doing this. I signed up for this program, that's how I'm able to drive for Uber, and I have a lot of valuable things to say about it. Now in this video, I'm gonna give you the pros, I'm gonna give you the cons, and I'm also gonna give you the things that Uber doesn't tell you. So the Xchange leasing program, in a nutshell, for $250 it allows you to lease a car for Uber, and as long as you're paying a weekly payment, you're able to drive for Uber. Now this is great if you don't have a car, if you don't have means to get a car, whether you buy one or lease one. I've heard that even if you don't have that great of a credit, they still let you slide, which is another plus. So what are some of the pros with the Xchange leasing program? One, I'll say, is you get a brand new car. Now they do advertise you can get a used car, but actually when I went to the dealership though, the guy told me that Uber is actually trying to move away from that. So within the next few months, I'm assuming, or even within the next, in the near future, if you do decide to do this program, you will be getting a brand new car. So that's definitely a pro. You get a brand new car and you can just drive it for Uber. Another good thing about the leasing program is that it's only 3 years. After about a month of driving, you can cancel anytime you want. So this is different from a typical leasing program where you have to keep the car, and if you decide to end your lease early, they throw a whole bunch of fees and a whole bunch of stuff at you. With this program, all you gotta give them is a 2-week notice. Yo, Uber, I'm done with y'all. 2 weeks, turn the car back to the dealership, wash your hands, it's like nothing ever happened, and you can go about your merry way. So that's another nice thing. It's a little less commitment if you got issues with commitment. That's something that is really great about the Xchange program. Another pro is once you actually get on the road, for every 5,000 miles you drive, the leasing program is gonna cover your oil change and your tire rotation, which is great. Free car maintenance, so that way you're not coming out of pocket with that stuff, and it kind of gives you a little incentive to drive, like, yo, I gotta reach these 5,000 miles so that they'll cover your expenses. So that's also another plus. Now, cons of the leasing program. I'm only speaking from my experience, right? So don't take every word I say for granted. I still recommend do your own research, do your diligence, and figure out if all this stuff. But what better way to learn from somebody else's experiences, right? So with the cons, right? The leasing program is cool, but it is very expensive. It's pricey. If you were just to go to a regular dealership and lease a car, it's going to cost you a lot less money to just do a regular lease versus doing an exchange program. For example, they advertise, I forget what the weekly advertising rate is, but it's really about $155 a week is the minimum that you'll pay. So whatever they say on the site, forget that. That prices have been going up. Like $155 and up is what you're going to be paying per week in order to keep the lease program going. Now that means you have to drive and you have to make at least $150 something per week so that they can take that out of your account. And if you're not making that, then you just owe Uber money, which there are other ways to pay for that too, which is kind of convenient. You can use Western Union to pay for it. But if you do the math, let's just say $155 a week, you're paying over $600 for a car lease. It's definitely pricey. But if you don't have a car, you don't have any other options, and you really your soul is crying to drive for Uber, then hey, by all means, join the club. Another con is if you're doing the Xchange leasing program, you have to go by a certain insurance company, right? Uber doesn't accept all insurance companies. In fact, and this is kind of a recent development, if you actually drive for Uber regardless and you're under a certain insurance, you might want to keep your head up because Uber is actually kicking people off of their insurance plans because I guess insurance companies are getting kind of hip to everybody driving Uber, and it's also a liability. So if they find out that you're driving Uber and they don't really vibe with that, you might be getting a letter in the mail saying you got about 3 months to find another type of insurance. So that's just a side note. Keep that in mind. If you are doing the leasing program, or at least thinking about doing the leasing program, there are certain insurance companies that they take, and those insurance companies are also kind of pricey. You see the common theme? You just throwing money at Uber. Like, you're just throwing money at Uber. So keep that in mind. Insurance can be a bit pricey. That's something you want to add into your figures when you're trying to figure out exactly how much you're really trying to dish out for Uber. All right, some of the things that Uber doesn't tell you that I had to find out the hard way. If and when you are going to sign up for the leasing program, you show up to the dealership with $250, right? They say that on their site. It's $250 cash. Don't bring a debit card. Don't bring a check. Cash. Like, Uber don't play. They want their money right there. Bring $250 cash. They advertise, you know, bring your money, sign documents, and you're driving off the lot that day. That is absolutely false. They don't do that. I mean, at least that's not my experience. Like I said, I can only speak from my experience. You probably have to show up to the dealership about 3 times in order to get your car. The first time is when you make your deposit. You give your $250, you sign some papers, and then they have to get that paperwork processed. And that usually takes a day or a couple business days. So you leave, you come back the next time, you have to sign some more papers. So they have to process that paperwork too. You have to leave and come back the third time. And the third time you can finally do the final stuff that you need to do and drive off the lot with your car. It takes about 2 or 3 visits. So don't think that you're gonna show up to the dealership that day with your $250 in hand and you're gonna leave with your car. It's not gonna happen. Like, you will get your hopes up, sorry. Also, when you do show up with your $250, you also have to pay for insurance. They just say bring $250 cash and you're good. No. Bring your $250, but you also have to be prepared to actually pay for the insurance that same day too. Regardless, just be prepared. Just have it in your mind that you're not just losing $250 that day. Like, you're gonna be losing $250 plus insurance money, which can range from a G up. So just be aware of that. Okay, I just remembered this. Another thing that Uber doesn't tell you on their site, when you first are looking at the website and you're trying to pick out, like, they give you a list of qualified dealerships that you can go to depending on what city you're driving in. And each dealership has a certain type of car that you're allowed to drive, right? You look at whatever model you want. Say you want a Honda or something. You look at all the Hondas, like, I want that car, right? And so you have this in your mind that this is the car you're gonna get. It might not be the case. In fact, it actually might really not be the case. Call the dealership first and see whatever cars that are actually available on the lot for the Xchange program. Reason being, I looked at the website, I was like, bet, this is the car I want. I showed up and the guy was like, bro, no, we don't even have that. They had like a Honda Fit, which nothing wrong against Honda Fits, like, you know, that's your style, cool, but I'm not driving a Honda Fit. So I ended up getting this car, which is cool, like, and ended up working, but it was a whole nother thing. I had to like drive to a whole nother dealership, and it ended up being a mess that you can avoid if you just call the dealership ahead of time. Hey, I'm thinking about doing the Xchange leasing program. What kind of cars are on the lot that if I show up, I can actually leave with? All right, that's my quick review on the Xchange leasing program. Big question. You want to know, is this going to be worth it? My personal opinion, I think the leasing program is great if you are going to be driving enough to cover the expenses and some to be able to make a decent profit. Remember, after the initial payment, the insurance, the weekly payments, gas, all those things are factored in before you get into the green. I really do think that the Xchange leasing program is most beneficial for somebody who is thinking about driving Uber full-time. Full-time as in 40 plus hours a week. If this is gonna be like your main source of income or one of your main sources of income, then I do recommend the leasing program, because although it can be pricey and you do have a lot of fees that you gotta pay, you can pay that off and still make a great amount of money if you are putting in the hours and you're actually working, full time basically. So that's my opinion. Is it worth it? It really just depends on your situation and it depends on what you're looking for. But I think if you're planning on doing Uber full time and this is kind of your only option in getting a car, why not? Just be prepared for those hidden fees that I told you about and you'll be golden. And that's it, guys. So I hope you got some value from this video. I hope I at least was able to shed a little bit of light on the Uber Xchange leasing program. If you are a part of the leasing program already and you have some suggestions or you have some experiences of your own that you've experienced that other people should or need to hear, leave a comment down below so that we can all share this and everybody can be on the same page as it comes to this leasing program. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, if you found some value from this video, go ahead and like it, share it with other people, other fellow Uber drivers that might find this helpful. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my page where I got more tips about Uber and other entrepreneurial things, the whole 9 yards. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. About to go make this money. About to go make this money.